Okay, so you want to start podcasting. I'm going to get straight to the point so that you can learn how to begin your podcast with everything you need to go from top to bottom. Let's get into this. Okay, so when I told myself I wanted to get into a podcast, the first thing obviously anyone does is they research a ton. And that goes from putting it somewhere to the equipment you're going to use and how you're going to use it and etc. I watched so many different videos. I can't even tell you how many videos. I was reading Reddit sites. I was looking up YouTube videos. I was just going on Google forums. I was finding everything. So I want this video to be a top to bottom what I did and how I did it, basically. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining everything from the stuff that I have. And to start off by saying I have a Mac. A Mac I think is the easiest thing to use when it comes to podcasting. But if you have a Windows PC, don't worry. The only thing that's different about the computers, the difference between your computers, is you're gonna record your audio. But that's it. Simple stuff. You're still gonna use the same equipment and you're still gonna do the same thing. So let's start out with the equipment I used. So my budget for my equipment was not insanely expensive and not insanely cheap. Somewhere in the middle, less than $100, more than $50. And that covers the microphone and the extra accessories and stuff like that with it. So you can go insanely expensive and get the most expensive mic you can find, or you can just honestly just find something in the middle that's probably really similar quality. I have found a perfect mic that will suit anybody that's wanting to do anything. And all the things I'm saying in this video will be linked in the description below. That's with the computer I use, the microphone I use, the accessories I use, everything. Everything's in the link in the description. Go down there, you can buy anything I have. Okay, so first things first, the equipment. You can kind of see some of it hanging around in the background here, but let me explain everything. So the first thing is the microphone, the most important piece to a podcast. But it doesn't have to be the most expensive piece, for sure. So the microphone I have is an Audio-Technica. I think it's the 2005. I think that's the model number. This is the best microphone I have researched and found to be for a beginner podcaster. And the audio quality was actually surprisingly good. Better than I could have ever expected for even honestly a really expensive mic. And the quality of it, like just the quality of the build is amazing. I thought it was gonna be this little plastic thing. It's a nice full like heavy metal microphone. And it comes with a stand, which who doesn't love a stand? Now, what comes in that box is very simple. This is a USB microphone, so it's a plug and play. No programs, just plug and play. So obviously in the newer MacBooks, which I have, doesn't have a USB port. So you do have to get an adapter for your MacBook, which is what I have right here. And I'll put the link of this in the description as well. I think this was only cost me like $5 to $10. Okay, so now that I have everything plugged into the microphone and into the computer, there's one more important thing you're gonna need to make this setup just perfect. And that's the pop filter, which you can see right here. The pop filter is basically this double fabric kind of material, and it basically just does what it says. It reduces the pop sound when you're saying your piece. I tried it without the pop filter and with the pop filter just to see what I was getting out of it, and it actually makes a really big difference. And it makes your sound a lot more crisp. Like, you don't even really realize it, but it does more than just the P sounds. It makes your voice just sound a lot more crisp, enough where you kind of have that radio voice, which is fantastic. You're gonna love it. Now that I have this set up, you're obviously hearing my audio through my phone, which I am recording. I'm actually gonna switch over to the microphone, and we're gonna actually switch over to the computer as well to show everything in there. Oh, and before I forget, you're probably gonna want some just wired headphones to plug into your computer. That's so that when you're recording through your recording software, you can kind of hear yourself in a little bit of an echo, and you can just make sure that your sound is coming out really crisp, and you can make any adjustments as needed. Okay, so after you get all your equipment plugged in and you have all your equipment that you need, next is to decide where you're gonna put the podcast. And this is the easiest answer for me. And this is obviously not a sponsored thing. This is just, I obviously couldn't even get a sponsor on this. So we're going to use Anchor. There's a few reasons why we're going to use Anchor, but there's really one reason. And it's because it's free. It's a huge free site, and it's very beginner friendly. which is perfect for us. So as you can see on my screen here, we have Blake's Road to Success. This is my podcast here, and the main reason why we wanted to use Anchor is for, I guess, one reason. It's free, but also because if you can see right here, available on 7 platforms. So if I go over here to my distribution, you can kind of see that, or no, you can see that it's available on Anchor, which people can view on Anchor, but it's also available, I don't know what Breaker is, but you can get it on Google Podcast. Don't know what that is, don't know what that is, don't know what that is. You can also get it on Spotify. Now, I'm also in the process of getting it approved on Apple Podcasts, which you just use, I'm going to blur mine out, but you can use your RSS feed here, and that's how you get approved on different sites. So how do you get your podcast to the site? Now, you could potentially just record through Anchor. I've tried using both, and I've just found my way just a lot better just for getting your quality out there. So we're going to slide the screen over to GarageBand. So GarageBand, and you can see I'm recording currently right now, but GarageBand is used for a lot of different things. You would think it's for making music, but it's actually good for just recording audio. A very important thing while doing this, and I'm gonna let you guys know now. So before you record your first podcast, you're gonna want to test your audio. Definitely test your audio. So like I said, that's where these headphones come into play. So when you plug in your microphone and when you get the GarageBand open, press record, say a few words, play around with it a little bit, and then listen to how your voice sounds before you obviously put it out there, because you don't want to record a 45-minute episode and then have your audio just be distorted or it's too high or too low. You want to know exactly what you're getting before you make it. So that's my number one piece of advice. And then not only that, now this is where it gets a little bit trickier. When you're just recording a podcast, easy. And you just put in your audio, you save your audio by going to share, and you're going to click export song disc, and then it'll pop up like a menu where you can decide like how you want to save it, high quality, low quality, etc., depending on your file size. And then you're going to take that and you're just going to go over to Anchor again, click new episode, and then just import it into there and make your title and things like that, just like YouTube. Once you get all the equipment down, and once you get used to using the equipment, and then once you get used to like finding your levels and where you want to put things, this whole process becomes like the back of your hand, which is great. Now, I will touch on one more subject, which is kind of interesting, but if you want to put video with your audio, like I'm doing right here, where I'm recording on the microphone, but I'm also recording on my phone, which is a separate thing, it's not connected to anything, you have to match your audio. So that just goes without saying. You have to match your audio if you want the sound quality. So the easiest way of doing that is actually going over to this GarageBand area and just clapping your hands a few times. You'll see the spikes in the audio, and that's how you can match it up when you're editing. So you can go like this. Potentially, mine should be matched up so that clap should sound perfect. But to someone that's pressing record on 2 different things at different times, it's not going to be together. Okay, so now for all your Windows PC users out there, there's nothing really different about this tutorial for you versus the Mac. The only difference is where you're going to be recording your actual audio. So for Mac users, they use GarageBand, which I personally recommend. Now for you Windows PC users, you can use different apps you can get out there that record the audio, and you can play around with different features just like GarageBand. The only reason I use GarageBand on Mac users is because it comes with the laptop, but I want to make this as like beginner friendly as possible, and so that you can just kind of like buy the equipment and then jump right into it and literally record the same day that you get the equipment. Because now we're going to jump into the computer so that we can see exactly what you'll be using to record your audio. It's a very simple plug in and play, record your audio and upload your podcast, that sort of thing. So for your recording stuff, you're going to just go to your account, which is, I'll show you my dashboard. So delete this page. So my dashboard is right here, and you can see Blake's Road to Success. I'm gonna go to new episode. You're gonna click record audio. You're gonna click allow microphone. You're gonna click the microphone you are currently using, which is this one right here. You're gonna click start recording now, and then you have 30 minutes to record your podcast, and you're currently recording right now. You see the timer right there, and that's how you know you're recording, and you're speaking into the microphone. There's really not much of a difference. Besides, like I said, you're not going to be able to edit the audio real time. So you're going to have to record your podcast and then edit it afterwards. But honestly, if that's the best you have, then go for that. That's perfect. It works out great, especially with the microphone that you have here. So we're going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then in a second here, it's going to show the recording that we just recorded. Okay, so you can currently see all the podcasts I have uploaded already just because it's on my profile, but this one is the one we're currently talking about. This was my fails down here, but it's currently processing. And like I said, you can add background music within the app. You can add to a specific episode, like you add season 1, episode 1, that sort of thing. Or you can like download audio file or delete it, etc. Or if you want to play it and listen it over kind of thing, but that's what you have. So what you're going to do is you take this and you drag it over to here where you can upload it. I'm obviously not going to upload that, but you can drag it over there, upload it, write your title, write your description, everything the same. So everything's the same. Okay, so there you have it. You have your Mac users, you have your PC users, and like I said, everything is the same as far as the equipment goes. It's just how you record it. So again, we're just going to run through very quickly what you have to get in order to do it the way I do it. And this is just an everything laid on the table, what you need to do. This is for both Mac and PC. You're going to need the pop filter. You're going to need the microphone that comes with the wire. You're going to need, if you're a Mac user, you're going to need the adapter. If you're not a Mac user, don't worry about it because you have a USB. If you're a more professional user and you need the XLR cables, it also comes with the XLR cables. But again, if you're a beginner, you're not going to need those right now. You're going to need a computer, whether that be a Mac, whether that be a PC, whatever it is. If you're a Mac, you're going through GarageBand to record it, saving that and uploading it to Anchor. If you don't have a Mac and you have a PC, you're going to be recording it through Anchor or through a third-party application that you choose on your own. So that's that. Everything's laid on the table. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and I'll answer every single question that's down there. I can guarantee that. Or to the best of my ability. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. I hope it helped you in any scenario you have. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.